Hello and welcome to the League One Roundup Review and the League Two Roundup and Review. So this week we had the first midweek fixtures, match day 4. This was the first midweek set of fixtures we've had so far this season, besides obviously the Carabao Cup, and there was a lot of interesting results. So let's go through them. So I apologise to any fan that supports Walsall. Alright? I went for Walsall to get relegated to finish bottom of the league. Last night they beat Wimbledon 3-1 through goals from Kieran Morris, a Nightingale own goal, and Andy Cook to win a 3-1 win. Appiah getting a late consolation goal for Wimbledon. That moves Wimbledon down to 11th, their first defeat of the season. Walsall 10 points from 12. Very, very good start for them. Blackpool got their first win of the season against Coventry, beating them 2-0. Goals from Mark Cullen and Joe Dudu gave them the win. That puts them up to 10th. 5 points from their first 4 games. Bradford City won on the opening day against Shrewsbury and haven't won since, but that has been rectified on last night. Jack Payne scoring the only goal in the game to win 1-0, just as he did against Shrewsbury on the opening day. So very, very important 3 points there. Portsmouth, they made it 4 wins from 4. An absolutely fantastic start by Kenny Jackett's men. Gareth Evans gave Portsmouth the lead in the first half, but Chris Lyons scored a penalty after 75 minutes before getting sent off 2 minutes later, and Ronan Curtis, who's had a very, very good start to the season, scored 3 minutes from time to give Portsmouth all 3 points. Very, very, very good win for Portsmouth. That keeps their 4 wins from 4. That's a great start. Another team that's gone 4 wins from 4 is Peterborough, who are still top of the league. Looked like they were going to get a point at Cheltenham Athletic, but a late penalty converted by Jason Cummings gave all 3 points to Peterborough United, and a great win at the Valley there. Next we have Doncaster and Shrewsbury. Doncaster have picked up 7 points from 9, and then they drew last night with Shrewsbury 0-0. They could not break the deadlock. Shrewsbury, they've had a poor start. They're in 22nd. 2 draws and 2 defeats from their opening 4 games. So not what they wanted at all under John Askey. Still yet to pick up his first win as Shrewsbury Town manager. Luton got off to a winning, I think this was their first win. Yeah, their first win of their League One campaign. 2 goals in the first half. One from Elliot Lee, and then the next one from Danny Hilton converting, and that gave Luton a 2-0 lead over Southend. So really, really good 3 points. That their first 3 points of the season. Next we go to a very, very good game here at Oxford at the Kassam Stadium, and it was a ding dong of a game. Gavin White gave Oxford the lead after 28 minutes, just before the half-hour mark, made it 1-0. Before half-time, Cameron Norman, he scored an own goal. I think he came from Kings Lynn, but I could be wrong. He made it 1-1. Just before the hour mark, Marcus Brown made it 2-1 to Oxford, and it looks like Oxford were going to get their first 3 points. But Billy Key equalised 5 minutes later, and then 10 minutes from time he converted a penalty to give Accrington all 3 points to Oxford. What a game that was. 5 goals, and that puts Accrington Stanley in 7th place. 2 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. So that could be a really, really big 3 points for them, coming from behind to get all 3 points. Plymouth and Wycombe. Plymouth, who are currently in 21st, they drew again, so they're 2 draws and 2 defeats, so yet to get off the mark with wins. And it's the same with Wycombe, 2 points and 2 defeats. This one ended 1-1. Freddie Ladapo, who I'm amazed is playing in League One, scored after 4 minutes, but 6 minutes from time the long-serving Matt Bloomfield scored 6 minutes from time to give Wycombe a point. They're still yet to get their first win back in League One. He's been there since 2003. He's currently in his 15th year. That's incredible. What an amazing servant he has been for Wycombe Wanderers. 1-1 at one finish. Finally, a emphatic win for Barnsley. They won 4-0 at Rochdale. Goal from Brad Potts opened the scoring, and then just before half-time, Kiefer Moore scored as well to make it 2-0, and then he scored 2 after the break for a hat-trick. So really, really good performance by Kiefer Moore. He was really, really good for Rotherham last season, and you know he's showing why Barnsley took a chance on him last season. Really, really good start for Barnsley. That 10 goals, none conceded, 3 wins and a draw. So they're just behind Peterborough and Portsmouth, who are on maximum points, which is 12. In the playoffs, Walsall, Sunderland and Doncaster are all joining Barnsley. Sunderland play tonight. Sunderland play Gillingham away. Gillingham, who've won 2 and lost 1. Scunthorpe and Fleetwood is the other fixture. Scunthorpe are currently in 16th. Fleetwood are currently in 12th. So a good win for Fleetwood could see them go into the playoffs. So that is the League One. In the relegation zone, Oxford 4 played, 4 defeats, 13 goals conceded, no points. And then we have Wycombe, Shrewsbury and Plymouth, who are all on 2 points with 2 draws. Burton Albion have 3 points with 1 win and 3 defeats, as do Bristol Rovers. And then we have a bunch on 4, 5 and 6. Accrington just outside the playoffs as well. A win for Gillingham tonight could see them rise to 5th. And a win for Sunderland could see them go up to 4th place. Next, we're going to pop over to League 2. No fixtures tonight. They all played last night. First off, Exeter continue their great form under Matt Taylor after Paul Tisdale left. Another win. This one was over Cambridge. 2 goals in the opening 15 minutes. One from Jonathan Fort and the other one from Jaden Stockley gave all 3 points for Exeter. I'm amazed at their start under Matt Taylor. I really thought they would struggle. Carlisle, they also won. They're up into the playoffs with a 2-1 win over Port Vale. Port Vale, who had I think they've had 2 wins. They've both been at home. It was Danny Granger opened the scoring after half an hour from the penalty spot, and then Tom Park sealed the points 5 minutes from time, with Luke Hannett scoring with a couple of minutes to go. But they could not get an equaliser. A terrible, terrible performance by Crewe. Now, Colchester hit 6 past them to go up into 3rd. Really good performance. 2 goals from Ben Dickinson, and then goals from Frankie Kent, Brian Jackson, Luke Norris and Tom Lapsley to give them a 6-0 win. Very, very concerning. And David Artell, their manager, who's known for being a no-nonsense defender back in the day, he said that they're going to refund the 150 or so fans that made the journey. A good, amazing game, at Swindon, Crawley and Swindon. So James Dunn opened the scoring after 13 minutes for Swindon, and then 20 minutes later, Kessie Anderson made it 2-0, and they were in total control. And then everything went a little bit crazy around the 50-minute mark. Tumani Diagoraga was sent off, and Ollie Palmer halved the deficit. Then James Dunn, who opened the scoring for Swindon, was also sent off. I think Josh Payne was sent off as well. That was for Crawley after 90 minutes. But in the 99th minute, Ollie Palmer equalised for Crawley to give them a draw. Just over 2,000 at that game. Swindon are in 7th. Crawley are currently in 18th. Just 1 win, and that was on the opening day. Forest Green and Stevenage played out a 0-0 draw. Not much to write home about there. But a 0-0 draw, 1,834 there. Forest Green are just outside the playoffs. They are still undefeated, 1 win and 3 draws. Stevenage, they are 4th, 2 wins and 2 draws. Lincoln got a win over Bury. That puts them 2nd after their draw with fellow Lincolnshire side Grimsby. they got back to winning ways. So it was Bury, who opened the scoring. O'Connell scoring after half an hour. And then Will Aimson was dismissed, and the resulting penalty kick was scored by John Akinde. And then 6 minutes later, with 9 minutes to go, Shay McCartan scored to make it 2-1. A really, really good win for Lincoln over Bury. After that draw, they've got back to winning ways straight away. We have the first managerial casualty, and that was at Whaddon Road. So Macclesfield and Cheltenham played out a 1-1 draw. Danny Whitaker giving the home side the lead after 18 minutes. But Emmanuel Sanduko scored 6 minutes from time to get Cheltenham a point. After that game, Gary Johnson was unfortunately dismissed by the Robins. They have picked up just 1 point from their opening 4 games as of Macclesfield. So they have decided that their best chance of going forward is dismissing him. It was another draw. This was MK Dons and Grimsby. Once again, this was 1-1. Lee Nichols' own goal. The goalkeeper scoring an own goal gave Grimsby the lead. And just after half-time, Robbie Simpson equalised for Milton Keynes to make it 1-1. Milton Keynes Dons had a good, decent start. Still unbeaten. 2 wins and 2 draws. Grimsby, they've done okay since that opening day defeat. A win and 2 draws since then. Morecambe got a very, very important home win against Northampton. Northampton moved down to 21st, 2 draws and 2 defeats. Morecambe get their first win. They lost their opening 3, but really, really important. AJ Leach-Smith getting the only goal of the game just before half time. Barry Roach, the goalkeeper, was sent off for Morecambe, but they held on, and really, really important win for Jim Bentley's men. That puts them off the bottom. And now we go to the team that are bottom. Newport County won 3-2 over Notts County. So it was actually Notts County who opened the scoring after 11 minutes. Kane Hemmings scoring. But just after 20 minutes, 2 goals in 2 minutes for Newport saw them go 2-1 up. Fraser Franks scoring the first and Mark Harris scoring the second. Just before 90 minutes, Christian Dennis equalised for Notts County, and it looked like they would get a valuable point. But Jamil Matt was there to score, but he was basically on the line, and it come off his foot, and he scored, meaning that Newport won, and that was 2 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat for Newport. Notts County 1 draw, 3 defeats, and currently bottom of the league. Not the start that they wanted at all. Kevin Nolan's side obviously got to the semi-finals of the playoffs. They had a great draw at the Ricoh Arena, but got hammers on the night against Coventry City, who went on to go up. So really, really not a good start so far for Notts County. Tranmere and Mansfield, they played out a 0-0 draw. That leaves Mansfield still unbeaten on 6 points, 1 win and 3 draws. Tranmere, that's 1 win, 2 draws and 1 defeat. That leaves them in mid-table. Finally, Yeovil Town and Oldham also played out a 0-0 draw. Yeovil are currently mid-table at 12th with 5 points. Oldham also mid-table with 5 points. So nothing separating those. So really, really interesting set of fixtures. It's a great win from Morecambe. That was a big story. Notts County going bottom. That is very, very surprising. A great win for Exeter at Cambridge. A smashing win for Colchester. Puts them up to 3rd. So things are starting to build. We're nearly 5 games in. And, now the league is starting to just take shape a little bit. So the 5th game will be on Saturday. So we'll just go through the fixtures now. Cambridge versus Cheltenham, Carlisle versus Crewe, Colchester Northampton, Crawley Town versus Bury, Forest Green Swindon in a repeat of the Carabao Cup first round, Lincoln Notts County. They definitely won't be wanting a trip there after going bottom. Next we have Macclesfield and Mansfield. Paul Tisdale will face his old club Exeter City. That's MK Dons versus Exeter. Morecambe versus Oldham. Newport versus Grimsby. Tranmere versus Port Vale. And Yeovil Town versus Stevenage. Finally, we'll just do the fixtures on Saturday for League One. So Wimbledon versus Sunderland, Blackpool Accrington, Bradford versus Wickham, Bristol Rovers versus Southend United, Cheltenham Athletic versus Fleetwood, Doncaster versus Portsmouth, Gillingham versus Coventry City, Luton will entertain Shrewsbury, Oxford United will try and get off the mark with a game against Burton, two sides that have struggled so far this season, Plymouth versus Peterborough, who are still top of the league, Rochdale versus Walsall, and Scunthorpe versus Barnsley. So that is your Leagues 1 and 2 review. The Championship will be done either tonight or tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.